Hi everyone, I'm here in Austin, Texas with the beautiful Amy Beth, and we've just met at this event.
A fantastic event.
Yes. Called Wealthy Wealthy, combining health and money. And she claims that it's one of the most important things, isn't she? Yeah,
yes.
Right. Pretty awesome event.
Amazing event. It's been,
really cool event.
Yeah, very vibrant and connected, and I think everybody's coming out with a lot of new insight. Aha moments.
It's very, very cool.
Where to find it? Oh, we're back on.
Okay, we're back.
We're back on.
We're on wireless. So yeah, we've connected lots of people in health and wellness, as you can possibly imagine. And we just decided we'd do a quick Facebook Live because Amy's got a really super cool business which helps you measure your blood work. To what gets measured gets managed with your health, and none of us are really measuring our health anymore. We're kind of leaving it up to fate. Just going, hey, let's just see what happens. And all of this stuff can actually be measured. We can actually determine if we're creating disease in our body, because there's all these different biomarkers that we can actually measure, but we're not taught to do this. Are we? We're not encouraged to. Our doctors don't encourage us to do this. So anyway, without me talking, I'd love to.
No, you're doing so great. Just keep talking. Keep talking.
But I really believe what gets measured gets managed. And as part of my inflammation solution program, I get people to measure their blood work beforehand and afterwards after 6 weeks.
Yes.
So when we, I can't remember what kind of made us start talking yesterday, but when you talked about your lab company, I just thought this is fantastic. It's a way to get everything explained to them as well, and everyone can do this. We don't have to do it through our doctors.
Yeah.
So yeah, let's dive in. How do you get into this?
It's so fantastic. Well, so our company is a direct access lab company, and it's an educational company too. So it's really a lot more than just direct access labs. My husband is a physician, and he's an anti-aging physician, board certified.
I didn't even know that was a thing.
I know, it's a thing. He was an ER physician.
You're 120.
Yeah. Yes, I'm aging great. 120. Thank goodness for the lab test, though, because they really did make a big difference in how I was feeling and how I was aging. And it's a little bit of a joke around our house because he has been board certified in the anti-aging practice for quite some time, and he repeatedly would ask me to get my blood work done, and I would say, you know, as I'm throwing my kale in the smoothie with my flax seeds and all the good things that I eat.
Like a true Los Angeles.
Well, we're Austinite. Touche. No barbecue. But no, yes, living like a true Los Angeles. Yes, exactly. In Austin. And I would say I don't need to get my blood work done because I was really very health conscious, very aware. And at the time, during all this time, I had 3 children. I ran a physical therapy practice. Life was really busy. And I started to feel really run down, I noticed. And in the afternoon, I would crash about 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and I'm living with the expert, this whole time. And finally, I hate getting my blood. I hate getting poked. I mean, I just don't like it. Who likes it? Who likes it? Okay, we're selling something that I don't even like to do, but it's that valuable to take the time to go get your blood work done. Because even if you consider yourself a wellness warrior, a health junkie, any of these things, the screening tests that we do cover 5 key areas of aging. So we look at inflammation.
Yeah.
Ding, ding, the biggie. We look at inflammation.
It's the big one.
It's the big one.
It's behind so many illnesses that we describe to accept as part of life. It's behind almost every chronic disease, type 2 diabetes, metabolic syndromes. Talked only about cancer earlier, other metabolic diseases, so many different things, and faster aging, of course.
Absolutely.
So if we can determine right now what our levels of inflammation are in the body, you can then go, right, what do I need to do to change what I'm doing so I can take action and bring those markers right down again?
Beautifully said. I couldn't have said it better myself. And to your point, the other modules that we test would give you, okay, now what do I do about it? Because then we're looking at your nutrients and some micronutrients.
So micronutrients, vitamins and minerals, and typically from plant-based foods, we tend to be malnourished in, don't we?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
I was saying the last one, we tend to be stuffing our faces, but we're starving.
Yes.
We're stuffing our faces.
Yes.
And,
overfed, undernourished.
Exactly. We're stuffing our faces, or we're obese and we're starving. We're diabetic and we're starving because we're not thinking about the nutrient capacity of the food.
The ultimate irony. Yeah. It really is. Yeah.
So you measure those?
Yeah, so we do a nutrient panel that includes the omega-3 and omega-6 ratio.
Cool.
Which is very important for inflammation. You want to have a very robust omega-3. And most Americans, like over 90% of Americans, are off. And
like omega-6 are up here, aren't they? Omega-3 down here.
That's right. And it should be a better ratio, a 4-to-1 ratio, not a 16-to-1 ratio like most Americans have. So
shocking.
It's a very great thing to have tested. And then we look at toxic metal testing along with that.
Such a huge thing, this one. Such a huge thing.
Which in some of the places that people try to get their omega-3s can be also a source of heavy metal toxicity, like the salmon and such. So, when you're attempting to live a healthy lifestyle, it gets a little bit tricky because you can also expose yourself to the toxic metals. So we test for that. And then we also look at your adrenals and your thyroid, which was where I got the ding on my report card, was on my adrenals. And then we look at your adrenals, thyroid, and hormone levels. And then also we look at your weight loss and metabolism markers. So it's those are like insulin resistance, looking at some of the fat hormones, and there's some other key markers. Now, all of this can be a bit confusing, which is where the educational portion of it comes in. So when you get your lab panels back, you'll go get yourself stuck.
Get over it.
Anywhere across the country.
You can save your life with this
You
stuff.
can save your life. It's totally worth it.
Yeah.
And then you will get your results back on your email. They'll come back to you. You can even get an app. They'll be delivered. And then along with that, you get what my husband considers as optimal ranges. Now, this is a paradigm shift because if you were to go Google this or even look it up, you might have to look for this information because most physicians look at your lab values in terms of disease. That's what they're trying to do. So they look at a lab value and they say, are you in a disease-safe state, yes or no?
And that's it.
That's the paradigm of medicine.
Wow.
The evolution of medicine, which is occurring within these specialties like functional medicine and anti-aging medicine and integrative medicine, the paradigm shift that's occurring is that we're looking to prevent and live optimal health. But guess what? Insurance doesn't pay for that.
Insurance doesn't pay for prevention.
So doctors don't practice it.
Yeah. It's hard to sell as well, prevention.
It's very hard to sell. So if you want to take your health into your own hands, this is what this product is for.
And we must do this. We can't measure our health unless we have blood work. There's no way of doing it. We just can't. There is electrobiofeedback and there are other ways, but I don't know if there's anything as accurate as doing blood panels.
Right.
So, and we literally are leaving our health to fate unless we do this.
Yeah, I mean it is. I mean, you can get some. People ask us frequently, are any of these tests covered by insurance? Not on our site. I would say maybe 5% of what we offer. We do throw some things in there that are covered by insurance because they're just like iron and vitamin D, some good things that are good to get tested. And we figure if you're in there already, you might as well just get them. But people often will use their health savings account to do a test like this. And again, your doctor's office is not going to run these advanced tests. On our Facebook page and on our website, we give example after example of cases that my husband's seen in the ER even, where if these tests had been done, and I know this hits very close to home for you, if these tests had been done, a life would have been saved. And that's really why he started to go back to school and get training, because he saw people younger and younger dying of stroke, heart attack in the ER.
Yeah.
And he's like, what's going on? And how can we, make an impact? How can we change that?
Yeah. It's crazy how many things can be prevented if you measure this stuff. My father had a stroke, and he's around thankfully, but it's this was all measurable. This was measurable going back decades.
Yeah.
And he could have started to make changes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I lost 2 friends to cancer last year, and they're not very kind of close friends anymore because I've not seen them for quite some time. But they were very close friends, about a decade ago. And I don't know the process they went through, but they're probably taken through chemo, radiosurgery, all that kind of stuff. All this could have been, I don't know, to a certain extent managed if you measure your blood work regularly.
Yeah, definitely.
So it's so many different factors that go into the creation and for the building blocks of disease. And it's even if it's emotional stuff, and you're very toxic with stress and anger and other negative emotions. Even that can show up in your blood work, can't it? Because it affects.
Yeah.
It affects everything.
Yeah. Well, and to your point in that regard, for me, I was in a very stressful period of time then, and not managing my stress well, and so my cortisol levels were shot. So that's what happens in adrenal fatigue. Is that first they used to think you would have really high cortisol levels because cortisol is a stress hormone, but the cortisol actually it tanks. Your body doesn't make your get up and go hormone anymore. So people turn to things like caffeine and sugar for energy because they no longer have their sustainable energy.
Yeah.
Cortisol, when it's in balance, does a beautiful thing. It's all about balance. It's not like this is bad or good, but you want to have the appropriate amounts at the right time of day, and then you're not living in that fight or flight state constantly throughout the day. And burning out your adrenal glands, which is what I was doing. And also I found that I was nutrient deficient, even though I was having kale smoothies, because our food doesn't give us the same nutrients that it once did.
Yeah.
We don't always absorb them correctly, maybe the stress or whatnot. But when I was able to fine-tune my health routine, and that's what this lets you do, is it lets you make fine-tuning adjustments. So even if you're very health conscious, you can kind of go in there and just tweak this or tweak that, and then it pays off huge dividends. Yeah,
amazing. And those nutrients are a very strong indicator of how strong your immune system is.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're deficient in a few of those nutrients, it's going to affect your immune system in different ways.
Absolutely, especially vitamin D.
Yeah. And I'm going to say your immune system is in your gut, 70 to 80% of it's in your gut. So there's also microbiome testing as well, which is going to give you an indication of how strong your immune system is.
Yes, we're working on that. We're not there yet.
But I feel that we're kind of wandering around in the Western world with suppressed immune systems with no idea about it.
Yes.
The testing that you're doing does give you an indication of how strong your immune system is.
Of what you can do.
All the micronutrients and everything else.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, and also a high inflammatory marker is indicative of disease. It can be.
You can't have inflammation and have a strong immune system. The two don't go hand in hand.
Right.
They are mutually exclusive. Is that the right word? But because inflammation is basically your body's reaction to what it perceives as an attack on it. It's your immune system under constant defense.
Yeah.
It by definition cannot be strong. So you bring the immune system strong, you bring the inflammation down,
and that's the optimal health.
Yeah.
So when when a client gets their lab values back, they get a few things with it, which is kind of nice. You're not just left wondering. Here's the good things. You don't have to go to your doctor's office for the lab, so that is kind of expense control in a way. Typically to go to a functional medicine doctor, you're going to be paying quite a high price tag to walk in the door. And sometimes people just want these tests quickly, and then some of the adjustments they can make themselves. So, just by looking at the values. So they get the values back themselves. They do get a health coaching call with one of the health coaches who's an RN in his clinic, and they just goes over the values.
Registered nurse.
If you're
English. I don't know what that is.
Yeah, so they go over the values, and then you get a video of Dr. Alan Hodgins going through the values and describing exactly what they mean. So he has
That's
a very
so useful because any of us who go and get blood work, they look at it, it's like a load of gobbledygook. What the hell does that mean?
exactly.
That's
And then if
great.
you go to your doctor's office, you forget what they said 5 minutes later. You're like, what did they say? But this time you can just push play.
Nice. That's amazing. That's such a good part of your business.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So.
And he's kind of funny and entertaining too.
Nice.
So that's just like a little extra added bonus.
Awesome. Awesome. So, awesome.
Yeah.
Is there anything else you'd like to say other than where they find you?
Yeah, we're at healthandblissforlife.com.
Yeah.
Yep. And we are very active also on social media. So we do a lot of, Facebook Lives, my husband and I together, and just talk about aging well, really. That was the other thing. We consider this a longevity program. So it's about aging well and being active and vital till the day you die. Feeling good. Like, we have this thing, I'll probably never play tennis because I tell this story all the time, but I want to be like 85 years old and go play a game of tennis.
Totally.
Go for a nap and then go on to what's next for me. Like, that is what dying could be like that. It doesn't have to be this
horrendous
degeneration,
neuro
convalescent process that we have.
I saw
come to know.
a marathon runner. I didn't see him personally, but a marathon runner, 100, did it for the first time.
I love it!
That's when I want to do a marathon.
Yes!
I think it's so stressful.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
So stressful on your body until then, but I'll do it when I'm 100.
Yeah.
So it's all about longevity, and if you can manage everything, and it's all reflected in the skin as well. I mean, you look amazing, and a lot of people really age faster than they need to because they're not looking at all the lab work and stuff. So really cool. Thank you.
Yeah.
That's really cool. So that's healthyandblissfullife.com.
Health and bliss for life.
Healthandblissfullife.com.
It's a mouthful. But
And if you want to get a blood work panel, say my name.
Yes.
Say my name.
Yes. Yeah.
Small reduction.
Yes. You'll have a coupon code for $15 off the lab panel with your name. So yes, Haley will call and we'll take the name then. And past Monday, you'll be on the list.
Okay.
Yeah.
And this is nationwide US.
It is nationwide US with the exception of New York, New Jersey, and Rhode Island. They do not allow.
I love it if it's listed off 50 states.
I know. The exception of 3 in our East Coast. Right. They don't allow direct access labs, so that's a very political lobbying sort of thing. But this is about putting the power in the people's hands, giving your labs on your terms in your hands without the hierarchy of insurance companies.
Awesome. Get in touch.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And see you in the next video.